Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bored and Annoyed. I'm home at the movies.
And I'm Jackson.
And today we're discussing don't leave us stuff out. Don't leave
the movie without remembering what the title of the movie is.
Yeah, leave no
trace.
Yeah, there we go. We got it. Bored and Annoyed.
Which I had a buddy, actually he's a listener, who basically when I told him I saw that movie, he was like, oh, that's like a camping thing, because when you go out into the wilderness, you're supposed to leave no trace that you were there or whatever. Yeah. Which I didn't even know, but I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
And thematically relevant for the episode.
Yes.
Or the movie, not the
And the episode.
And the episode.
In case you're listening to this while camping.
This is a green podcast.
Yes, right.
We leave no trace. But always going to do the news.
Yeah, and lots of news.
Yeah. Have you ever looked at the stars, Jackson, and said, what if there was some sort of war going on in them? Like maybe a long time ago?
Well, it's not going on then, right? It already happened.
Maybe,
what if there was a war?
Maybe if there was a war
at
some point in the stars.
I've thought about that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you might like this series called Star Wars.
Yeah. Gee, Star Wars again. Huh?
Yeah. Fucking Star Wars news.
It never stops.
It will never end. But we got Billy Dee Williams coming back for episode 9.
I am thrilled with this, though. I will tell you, I met Billy Dee Williams.
Really?
Yes, I met him at Madison Comic Con a few years back.
Okay.
And he just did not want to be there. You could tell. I went to shake his hand, and he must be one of those like germaphobe guys, which I understand. He gives me a pound, just kind of looking down, all miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked old as hell. But yeah, I love Billy Dee. I think if they wanted to, last movie, they should have made him the Casino Planet guy that they met.
Yeah.
That would have been more interesting.
Honestly, when they were getting there, I was expecting that.
Yeah, it would have been great.
Yeah.
Well, he trampled on your expectations, Alex.
Yeah.
He's an auteur.
Fucking Ryan Johnson. Killing all my expectations.
Yeah, right. But, so I'm happy as hell about that.
Right.
How are they going to tie in? Like, are they going to have some stupid line of dialogue? Oh, that's like when my old, pansexual droid, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to be like, I
was going to say, how do you think some of those fans who did not like the pansexual thing, how do you think they're going to react to this whole thing?
I mean, I think it depends on how they write him. I'm assuming they're going to be, like, it's JJ.
Right.
I feel like it's going to be pretty safe, whatever they do with him.
Well, because
although Solo was safe too, it's just the only reason anybody bitched about it was because they brought it up before the movie came out.
Because I'm watching, I like to watch multiple things on YouTube, and I watch sort of this right-leaning guy who, he's not right-leaning, he's kind of extreme right, and but it's good to hear the extremes every now and then to center yourself. And this guy was like, well, pansexual Lando, and he's just going off on this. I'm like, I don't think even in the movie they really even solidified it. I don't, honestly, when, what was her name?
I don't
the
even
robot,
remember.
When she was like, oh, he's got a thing for me, but it would never work. It was played for a joke. Like she was full of herself. There was no way I would have, if those comments hadn't come out, I would have thought anything about it. It's
true. There was something about the way he called Han baby, though, that was a little, hey, take a seat, baby, or whatever. It was a little bit. I mean, it was fine. I liked the movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and who cares? I just don't care.
I've listened to a few of those guys too, like on this topic on YouTube, and some of them, like, they articulate it well enough where it's like, oh, okay, I see your point.
Right.
And then some of them, it's just like, you're just going to be pissed no matter what.
Right.
Any change, you're just going to be pissed about.
Well, it's like, what does it matter? I mean, this is Star Wars. I mean, what if, Buttface from episode 4 and Leia got together? Would I care? No,
I
suppose,
but
species.
there's people like me. I always thought of like Lando as this like suave ladies man. You know what I mean? Like that's just the character.
He's a suave anyone's man.
Well, now he is. Yeah,
apparently.
All right. Well, let's see if Billy Dee is up for that. I just picture him like them saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, Billy Dee, you're pansexual." Now. And him just being like, "No, fuck you. I'm old." and I don't want it.
I was going to say, you said he was cranky. I mean, he came to Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I think I'd be a little cranky too.
He was kind of cranky, and oh god, what's his name from Mallrats, Guardians of the Galaxy, Walking Dead? Michael Rooker. He was a little cranky too. I mean, he was friendly, but I tried to get him to say I got stink palmed in Madison on his thing that he signed for me, and he wouldn't do it. Which is like, I'm paying you for a signature. Just write whatever I want. It's not like it's an embarrassing thing. It's a memorable line. I don't know if he was ashamed of that movie or what, but
right, yeah. I mean, he's a celebrity.
Yeah,
they get to do what they want.
I love that guy as an actor.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I like seeing all the stuff behind the scenes, like with him and James Gunn for the Guardians movies. He just seems like a likable dude. Yeah, he's probably just in an off mood.
Michael, if you're listening to this, you really hurt my feelings. I really wanted a stink palm reference on my Mallrats 8x10 that you signed.
Yeah, so we're expecting you to come to the Lion's Den and sign Stink Palm.
There you
Stink
go.
Palmy.
But yeah, let's get off Star Wars.
Yeah. Fucking Star Wars. Another piece of news, we got Tom Hardy's Venom movie is officially not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So he will not meet Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
I'm going to hold off on buying this.
Okay.
I feel like if it's successful enough, like if it comes out and it's really good,
right?
Maybe it's a sign that they know it's shit.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if it's really good, people are going to be clamoring for Spider-Man to fight Venom. And if it's a good Venom movie, then you can't just... They're going to be in a bind where it's like, okay, well, we want Venom as a villain in the MCU. Everybody loves the Tom Hardy villain, but we're not going to do that?
Right.
That seems odd to me.
Well, it's technically, I think part of this is that Marvel never signed off on it. Marvel and Sony came to an agreement on Spider-Man.
Okay.
But not on spin-offs. And so I think it's one of these, I do think this is a leverage move from Sony. If it's good, we're going to leverage our way into having a little bit more control over Spider-Man in the Marvel movies.
I hope it's good, man. I like Tom Hardy, so.
But I also look at it and I'm like, okay, so you got Tom Hardy. You know, just because it's called Venom doesn't make it Venom. If you take, like, Spider-Man being a part of his origin is, I feel, integral to the character.
Right.
And so you've taken him out of that, and now it's like, okay, well, you've got alien symbiote bonds to person. I mean, yeah, I guess in a very broad way, it's Venom, but it's also like he's not a bodybuilder. He didn't lose his job because of his motivations are completely different.
Sure, but you know what this is, actually? I just figured it out. They know that they just have struck gold with Todd McFarlane and their crossover with Spawn, so they don't even need Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They just know Todd's on board. He's excited about this.
And he's going to direct it in the next 10 years.
They can market the crossover as from the creator of Venom.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, there it is. I solved it, people.
Yeah.
Get ready for that. That'll be like 2023. We'll get that crossover.
It's just more of Sony being Sony. You know what I mean?
Sony sucks.
Like, you know what the fans want. The fans want Venom and Spider-Man interacting.
I said from the beginning, I am not very interested in this movie.
Yeah.
Because I don't, like, to me, if you're going to do Venom, like, he's one of the, you know, most known of the Spider-Man villains. He's probably the fan favorite.
Yeah.
You know? What the hell's he's not going to be interesting enough, in my opinion. Just guessing. I'm just guessing.
To carry his own movie?
Yes.
I think it's one of those... I think you're right in this instance. I think if you had started him out as his own character, he was a villain, now he's an anti-hero who has to fight the desire to eat people's brains.
Yeah, but you would need that first movie where he's with Spider-Man, right?
To me, it's like the death of Superman in Batman v Superman. You haven't earned this yet.
Yeah, they haven't earned it, right.
So, whatever. But that's directed by Ruben Fleischman. Okay. And Ruben Fleischman also directed Zombieland, which is getting a sequel.
And I heard about this. That's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I liked Zombieland.
Little cult classic, kind of.
Yeah. The whole cast is returning. The writers are returning. And he's returning as director. So, I mean, that's pretty solid.
So, sign me up, but
Okay.
It came out like in zombie time.
Right.
When zombies were, crushing it again a bit.
Yeah. New villain, Vampire Land.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, by then it's like your Walking Dead fans aren't going to see like a zombie trailer.
Right.
And be excited about it. So I don't know.
What if they go really meta about the idea of zombies being played out and like maybe the zombies are dying off?
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Different spin on it.
Right. Yeah, sure. I'm excited though. Although the Bill Murray cameo in the first one. They've got to find somebody
I was going to say, so Woody
'cause-
Harrelson did Kingpin with Bill Murray.
Yes.
So maybe they get somebody from Cheers?
Ted Danson
shows up? And he's Ted Danson, but Woody Harrelson is not Woody Harrelson. So they don't know.
George Wendt, who was also at Comic-Con Madison when I was
George
there.
Wendt.
He's the fat guy at the bar. God damn it. What's the character's name? I don't know. See, I'm not a Cheers guy.
He's
so
not
I don't know.
He's not the
He's not the postman. He's the postman's buddy.
Gotcha. Yep. God, he's still alive?
He is.
Wow.
Or he was a few years ago. I don't keep up on George Wendt.
I mean, he's a big guy, so I mean,
he's still
I'm
a
not
big
trying
guy.
to be mean. I'm concerned for his health more than anything.
You never know.
But what about Fraser Crane?
There you go. Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer.
I'd be all for that.
I would be on board. And then they get to kill, like, that's like the new standard for the series is they kill whoever his previous co-star was.
There you go. Perfect.
I would be on board for that. Kill Kelsey Grammer. # kill Kelsey Grammer. What do we got here? Robocop Returns.
Next topic.
What?
I just think it's stupid.
But it's Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah, well, he made one good movie.
That's true. Chappie was
I didn't
pretty
even
bad.
see Chappie.
Chappie was pretty
I don't
bad.
even want to see it. I was so burned by Elysium. I
never
think that
saw
was very
Elysium.
good. Yeah. So I think District 9 is like a instant sci-fi classic.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100%.
So I was like pumped for Elysium.
Right.
But then like the first one had like the whole apartheid, you know, kind of.
Yep.
And it was pretty on the nose.
Yeah.
But Elysium took it like to the extreme on the nose where it's like, is that all this guy's going to do?
Well, I looked at it and I was like, oh, you're doing the whole like Metropolis thing. The rich live in a super high up thing and the poor live down here. And I was like, that's pretty good. But because it feels like a reference.
No, but
more
it feels like The Purge though, where it's like there's no
in between.
Yeah.
Well, and some people, that's where it gets a little political, is that some people say that disparity. Well, I mean, I think statistically that disparity is becoming more so. Like the middle class is shrinking.
Sure, but
so
I mean, we could get into the economics of that all we want, but the point is, you have the super rich and the super poor.
Yeah,
and I mean, I barely remember the movie, but I don't remember anyone on the rich place
being a good person.
See, and I don't remember anyone in the poor place being a bad person. So it's just like, whatever.
You have to make it more. You have to make it like real life.
Well, and it's just not very good. You have what was her Jodie Foster's in it. She's like this like Australian or British or something, like president of the rich people.
She's president of the rich.
Yeah, the rich.
The rich have their own president now.
I don't remember exactly what her role was, but she was the main villain. Okay, and it was just over the top. She sucked. It was embarrassing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she made up for
Copley
it.
Copley was good though from District 9. And yeah, he was good.
I like him.
So do I. He's great.
Yeah. But so they're making that, but we apparently have no interest.
No, I mean I love the original RoboCop, but there's no casting yet. Let's wait until we find out who's playing RoboCop first of all.
Well, the thing that's got me a little concerned is one, this got me excited. It's based on a script that was supposed to be a sequel to the original.
Okay.
But now they're bringing in a guy to do a rewrite on it.
Well, okay, so is it a sequel to the original, or is it a sequel to 2, or is it a sequel to 3?
I don't know.
Are they doing the Halloween thing where they pretend 2 and 3 never happened?
I bet you they are. That seems to be
sense.
a safe
I like
bet.
2 a little bit. 3 is a dumpster fire.
I haven't seen 3.
Oh, God, it's PG-13. It's garbage.
Honestly, I can't even remember 2 because I saw 2 when I was probably 10.
They recast RoboCop for 3.
Really?
Yeah, get out of here. Stop it.
Well, yeah. Well, they're probably going to have to do that.
I don't
for
know
this
if
one.
they'll have to. He kicked some ass in 24, like 10 to 15 years ago or whenever he was on it. He was a badass, that actor. He's still around. He was on Sons of Anarchy, too.
Okay.
What is it? Is it Peter Weller? What's his name?
That sounds right.
Hold on. I want to confirm that for the people. You know,
the peeps.
Somebody's just yelling at their phone. Like, of course it's, yeah, Peter Weller.
Yeah.
And he was on Dexter.
I hate that listening back on our podcast and being like, oh, I got that fucking wrong. And I know how I am. And instantly I start yelling at the podcast. I'm like, you fucking idiot. It's this.
Well, you just have to be like me and never be wrong.
Yeah.
And then that problem's solved.
Well,
although we recorded that Lawrence of Arabia episode that will be being released here in the next few days. And I called Anthony Quinn Peter Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
But I corrected
you corrected yourself.
Fast, but
you were
wasn't
also
correct.
wrong. You were also wrong about the Hella thing too. But
Oh, Jesus.
But this is just the week of like crazy comic book movie news. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker origin movie is a go. It is official. It's happening.
Okay, but hold on. So there's 2 Joker movies, right?
I don't know. Like they say that there is, but they don't have a director for it.
Okay.
And Jared Leto is like, yeah, I'm on board, or like I'll do it. But it's all very vague. So
they should just
yeah,
don't do
nobody
the Jared Leto
wants
one.
that.
Yeah, no, I'm interested in Joaquin Phoenix one.
Absolutely.
And then you said what? Black Widow's getting a movie.
Black Widow is getting a movie, and it's going to be probably a prequel.
Okay. That sounds interesting. If you did like a Russian spy kind of,
before she, before she joins S.H.I.E.L.D. or maybe during her fledgling years at S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. And you could do the whole Captain Marvel, go back in time, do, a de-aged Nick Fury, maybe de-aged Jeremy
like a
Renner.
little lady team up type deal with her and Captain Marvel.
Oh, well, I don't know if I'd want to see that.
Hey, I'll game for anything if it's good.
Yeah. But yeah, that has a director now. It's Kate Shortland, who directed the series Lore.
Did you watch Lore?
I didn't.
So that's on Amazon.
Okay.
That's an interesting one. Basically, it's like a quasi documentary style reenactments. So they'll have like a real piece of like a folk tale.
Okay.
Folklore,
Gotcha.
And they'll act it out with like, pretty well-known actors and stuff. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Does that give me confidence that she can helm like a feature film action movie? I don't know. But
Right. Well, Marvel is pretty good with getting these people. They're pretty good at getting directors.
pretty good, period. So I would think it's going to be good. But
It's so strange to me that like the worst director they got was the guy who worked on Game of Thrones.
which one would that have been?
That was for Thor: The Dark World.
Okay.
That was God. I'm blanking on his name, but he also directed Terminator Genesis.
Oh, Jesus.
And he's just bad.
Okay.
So speaking, like I said, it's just crazy comic book movie news this week. Jeremy Renner is confirmed for Twitch Williams, who is going to be the lead role in the Spawn movie.
That's fantastic. So
Yeah.
Twitch Williams, I forget what the fat cop's name is, but
Yeah.
Twitch Williams is the little like scrawny cop with the
Yep.
glasses and the
Yep.
curly hair and shit.
Yeah.
Always smoking a cigarette, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So they've got Jamie Foxx and Jeremy Renner, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is already turning into a pretty damn good cast.
And it sounds like a small budget.
Yeah.
So
I hope they get somebody really good for the fat cop, because those are, I think, going to be your 3 big roles.
George Wendt is available. He actually looks kind of like the fat cop.
He does, but he's also he's getting up there.
Yeah. Well, bring him out. Bring him
And
out.
they'll probably get some great great actor to do like the voice of like Violator or something.
Yeah, well, we'll see what they do with it.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat, though.
Yeah.
Because it's going to follow the 2 main cop guys, right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm pumped for that.
well, and then that's exciting that they have a good cast, because if the movie only costs them like $50 million and you have Jamie Foxx as your Spawn,
Yeah.
and then you have Jeremy Renner in the starring role or whatever, I feel like it's going to easily make double that.
It will make its money back. The only thing that's got me a little scared is potential fan backlash of not seeing enough Spawn.
Well, The fans are wrong sometimes, Alex. We'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
Right. Well, I mean, there were rumors that Venom was only going to be actually Venom for the last, like, 10 minutes of his movie.
Okay.
And so it's like if they did that in this movie, or like if they did the Godzilla bit, where
sure.
they keep on teasing him, but you never really see him, people might get upset.
But if you've got good characters, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with Spawn, even if you don't show him, have him in the alleys and the shadows and shit, whatever. I'm interested to see how they handle the origin story.
Right.
But
this might be interesting it could be a new way to launch a franchise, in that you don't actually launch the franchise with your main character starring in the first film.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. But
It kind of makes sense, because reading the comics, I mean, it was like the first couple issues were the two detective guys just kind of like, oh, well, we've got these crimes happening. Blah, blah, blah.
I hope
what's going
Jeremy
on?
Renner does that voice.
I mean, that's like how I pictured that character talking.
What's going on?
What's
And
his
then-
name again? The character Twitch?
Twitch Williams.
Yeah, Google Twitch Williams quick and just look at his picture.
Yeah, I could see. He's got that bushy mustache
Yes.
also.
Yes. And he's got the glasses that are like, they're drawn in a way where you can't see his eyes. It's just glare.
Yep. Which I love. I do kind of love that as like an artistic style thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. We got some more news. These ones were a little less fun.
Okay.
So Scarlett Johansson was going to be, she was going to play a trans character.
I heard about this.
And in the movie called Rub and Tug.
Sure.
And she has dropped out of the role amid controversy.
Backlash, right? Yeah.
So, you got any thoughts on that? I mean,
I think that she should have just stayed in the role.
okay.
I mean, this is her second time taking a role where she's gotten some shit, because she played the Asian character in
Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
But if she felt passionate about the role, they wanted her. I don't see a problem with it. I mean, if you want to play something and somebody asks you to play it, if she's the best person for the job, and especially from like the trans community, and this is the other hard thing, is because there's always outrage, and you don't know like what percentage of that group is actually outraged,
Right.
Because you only see the outrage.
Yes.
So you don't see the people who are like, well, maybe this would bring awareness to whatever, and she has a lot of fans. More people would see this if she played the part.
Exactly.
So there's a bunch of layers to this that I feel like if people just took a step back and really thought about it, maybe they're,
it's tricky. You're right, because it's like this movie, you want to find a big audience, because how many movies are there about trans characters? Like virtually none.
I know there's a few, and I'm trying to think of them, and I can't.
There was that one with, and I don't know if this is technically trans or just cross-dressing, but that one with John Leguizamo. And,
Jesus.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I don't think so.
Okay. There was one where it was him, and he was a part of like a group of like cross-dressers, and they went into a small town. And
No, yeah, but he was a cross-dresser, right?
Yeah.
So you've got, I believe ScarJo was going to play a man
who
had transitioned into a woman.
Yes.
So that's where the issue is, I think.
Yeah. And because I think the issue is like, why can't we just get a trans person to play a trans person? And I'm like, okay, fair enough. It's kind of like, like I remember I was really upset when I had found out that the Kung Fu series passed up Bruce Lee for David Carradine.
Okay. Well, I mean.
So, I mean, it's kind of like, I get it, Like
I don't. I'm sorry. What percentage? Like, quick, Alex. Name the best trans.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like it's complex, because you want the real representation of the real people that are in there, but it's also like, well, these people are actors. You're telling me that they can't act in this role. And then her initial response, which actually got her in a lot of trouble, was, say that to Jared Leto, and then she spouted off two other ones where people played cross-dressers or trans characters.
Sure.
And to me, it's almost like, is there like an anti-Scarlett Johansson like group out there? And it's not because what she did with Ghost in the Shell was unwarranted of criticism. But it is sort of strange that like
Well,
Jared Leto and like
it is unwarranted.
Well,
She was asked to play a part,
Right.
and she took the role.
Right.
If
Well,
you're
some people-
criticizing her,
some people would argue she should never have taken the part.
well, fuck them. I'm sorry.
But I get it because it's like, you know, it's a bit of a whitewashing, and Hollywood has a history with that. But I also understand way less people would have seen it if it hadn't been her, at least in America. Maybe
Right.
in Japan and China it would have been fine. But, but not here.
You're making a Hollywood movie. You
Yeah.
want your big name. I mean, she's one of the biggest young actresses right now. I just find it funny because this is a example of them eating their own here. I mean, Scarlett Johansson was at like all the women's marches.
Yeah.
She's, you know, clearly like a outspoken member of the progressive community.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you're going to get on her to the point where she doesn't take this role.
That's why it's so strange to me. Because
Yeah.
it's like, what if this movie doesn't get made now because the backers are like, well, we were banking on Scarlett Johansson making this a profitable movie, and now we can't bank on that.
Yes.
So it's like, what if you just did yourself a disservice?
Oh, I mean, and I would assume they did. Because she's a good actress, too.
She is.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
she
sure
is.
she would have cared about the role. She probably feels a connection to the role in some way.
I think that's why she took it, is because she was
Right.
interested and passionate about the story. So, I mean, it bothers me a little bit because it's like, well, why didn't you guys get upset about Jared Leto? That is really weird that it's Scarlett Johansson and you flipped your shit, but you didn't get upset about Jared
Well,
Leto?
like I said, he was a trans woman played by a man, whereas she is like, he's not, by taking that role, he's not like pretending to. I mean, he is pretending to be. This is where I get stupid because I'm not like liberal enough to understand the, you know, but he is theoretically he could do that, right? Whereas
Right.
she it's
couldn't.
not possible,
Right.
She could do the other way,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying,
Right.
Which I don't think would receive the backlash, by the way,
Right.
So
I could see, I see what you're saying. So
Yeah.
I do kind of, I understand their point. I also understand that it's a business.
I understand their point from their loony opinion, but I'm going to be outspoken here and say it's crap. ScarJo should play whatever she wants to play. If they called her up to play Genghis Khan and she wanted to play the role, you go, girl. Go play Genghis Khan.
I'd say no, because Genghis Khan is like a historical figure.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying if the people making the movie, they have an artistic vision, whatever. They say, who can we get for this role? You know, who's going to make our movie the most money? Who's going to play the character the best? However they decide to do it, they select that person. That person accepts the role. All they did was accept a role.
Right.
You haven't even seen a picture of her as this character yet.
Right.
And you're freaking out to the point where she's quitting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, like going to like Ghost in the Shell. My problem with it, like her name in the series was Major Kusanagi.
yes.
And, you know, it's like, well, that's a traditional Japanese name. And I get why people would be upset because, well, she has a Japanese name. Of course she's Japanese.
Sure.
And, you know, there was a sort of tone deaf thing in that, you know, at the end you found out that she was really literally a Japanese girl inside a white woman's body.
Yeah.
Which was, it didn't do itself any favors by doing that. But at
Well,
the
the
same,
movie also kind of sucked.
Yes. But then the other thing that I had with that, which is in a lot of animes, I find that race tends to be a little difficult to discern because of the artistic style.
Well, and, you know, I think that they try to Americanize some of the...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I know that in Japan, it's a big thing for them to, like, dye their hair. So you never know if that's a character who's actually blonde.
Right.
Or if they dyed their hair. But it's like, it could be either. And then all of a sudden, the whole race thing becomes very confused. And it's like, and just a name is a name. You're telling me that a white person married into a Japanese family wouldn't have they would have a Japanese name. So it's like the name almost means nothing either.
Sure. Yes.
So
I just think I think it's stupid. Like, I think it's stupid when people got mad that Roland was cast or Idris Elba was cast as Roland. Like, I think that's stupid. I think it's stupid, You know, if the person's the best person for the job, give them the job. Now, like, people have talked about Idris Elba playing James Bond, and like my first reaction is like, no, that's not what I'm used to.
Right.
But if it happened and I'd wait and see the movie,
right,
and if it was good, I would be like, oh, great, he's a great James Bond.
Right. Well,
and I don't know if it's not the same,
right?
But
I was going to say that what differentiates, because I'm one of those people who is like, love Idris Elba, I don't want him as Roland, and the reason why is I fell in love with the imagery of Roland and the way that, well, one, the whole movie throws away all that imagery as far as I'm concerned. Well, you can see it in the trailers.
Okay.
Like he doesn't have a stereotypical cowboy hat. He doesn't have like the same sort of like
that Clint Eastwood look.
Yeah, he doesn't feel the same. And that was part of why the character was ruined, but also it's like he was designed like Stephen King actually said he's supposed to be like not Steve.
The man with no name, right?
Yeah.
From The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Exactly. It's supposed to be just that character basically. And I'm like, that's iconic imagery.
Yeah, you could really do something awesome with that too.
Yeah, well, sci-fi, cowboy, fantasy.
Yeah,
fuck yeah,
sign me up. Right?
Yeah, and it just didn't end up being that. But the thing with him playing James Bond is we've had how many James Bond?
Well, it's
movies?
kind of the same thing, right? Where you've got this like image of what James Bond is,
right,
in your head, and it's like, it's weird to fuck with that, but like honestly, I felt that way when Daniel Craig was cast as James Bond, just because it's like, you don't look like the suave, like Pierce Brosnan, Sean Connery-esque, you know, ladies' man kind of guy. You're just like a big badass.
Yep.
But then you see it,
and it totally works,
and he's like the best one ever.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, and that's my thing with Idris Elba. It's like we've had how many 45. Bond movies?
So many Bond movies.
So
man.
It's like, I don't care. Like, I don't need another white Bond. You could make James Bond into Joan Bond, and I'd be fine because I've seen enough of.
I don't want Joan Bond. Stop it.
I just don't care. I just don't. At this point, I just don't care because it's like I feel like they've done everything they can with that character.
I'm like a huge James Bond fan.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but
I find that to be the big thing with how liberal you're willing to be with a property.
That's true. I mean, you see it with Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, but it's not like there weren't Asians in Star Wars.
Well, no. I'm just saying that like people like fans have something that they're attached to.
Yeah.
And shit gets fucked around with, and the littlest things can cause problems.
But you know, and I still ended up seeing Dark Tower, even though I heard it was terrible.
Yeah, I won't see it until I've read all the books.
Yeah.
And then I might not see it anyway. So
I don't think you should see it just based on the fact that it looks like they shoved about 4 or 5 books in there.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll skip it then.
But we'll get off that topic. I do want to say something to the listeners, whoever's listening right now. If you think we're wrong or you think we're being insensitive, that's fine.
Correct.
I mean, that's why these discussions are important, is to, you don't always have to reach a consensus, but at least maybe reach an understanding of where people are coming from. I feel like that's important.
Yes.
And yeah, we're going to make an ass of ourselves because not everything that you think is politically correct, and not everything that you think is right or sensitive either. You know?
Right.
So we're just going to try and say what we think, but not step on anybody's feelings if we can avoid it, you know?
Well said. But yeah, is that it for the news? Did we cap it with
something terrible?
Yeah.
No, let's bring it down. Let's bring it down back to our level.
Okay.
We've got box office news.
Oh, okay. We got to get into the box office.
Yep. It's the most exciting part of the news.
What won this weekend?
Hotel Transylvania 3. I know. Kind of came out of nowhere, but it's the only kids movie. Like, really?
The Incredibles is still out, though.
Yeah, but that's
everybody's seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have
you seen any of those, by the way? Those
Nope.
hotel, they look stupid as hell.
I refuse to support anything that Adam Sandler does at this
Oh,
point.
it's his? Really?
He's the voice of like Dracula or whatever, and he's got a daughter, and she's embarrassed by him. Like that seems to be like the premise.
Okay. I'm going tonight.
Yeah, I sold you. But yeah, that won the weekend with 44 million. Number 2 was Ant-Man and the Wasp with 29 million. So that was a pretty hefty drop. some people are like, well, it's the same percentage drop as like what Spider-Man Homecoming had. But Spider-Man Homecoming had a little bit of an alarm going off too after its second weekend of play in the US.
I'm shocked that Hotel Transylvania is that popular.
It's actually not that popular when you think.
But the fact that it would ever be in first.
It's $44 million.
Shocking.
Like if anything other than Skyscraper had come out this weekend, it probably would have lost.
Oh shit, Skyscraper.
Skyscraper was number 3 with $24 million.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, looking at that, I mean, it's like, wow, The Rock's power at the box office it's not what it used to be.
I think he's just taking every role. He needs to be a little pickier.
Yeah. I think being in 2 to 3 movies a year, not necessary.
No.
Make yourself a bit player in a good movie.
Correct.
Yeah,
latch yourself onto a franchise like Fast and the fucking Furious that he keeps making those, and they kill it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you've already done that.
Right.
So now be picky. You don't need to do Rampage. You don't need to do Die Hard but on Fire.
We'll get to that.
Well, let's get to that right now.
Okay.
You actually saw that.
I saw it.
And how was it?
It was bland as hell. It wasn't bad enough to recommend to see in that like bad movie way. Classic movie where the first 15 to 20 minutes is just exposition dump after exposition dump, foreshadowing here, foreshadowing there. All this stuff's going to come back. It's super predictable.
Okay, I was going to ask.
There's like 3 or 4 villains throughout the movie, none of them interesting.
Okay.
The main villain, I guess he would be the main villain.
Okay.
Ends up being like there's like a crew of like Russian or something, the bad guys, like they're in there faking, they're pretending to be, and you'll have to forgive me because I saw this 3 days ago and it's like almost completely escaped my memory at this point.
Okay.
But they're pretending to be like maintenance guys at this building. The plot is there's this giant skyscraper and The Rock is conveniently like a security guy who's testing the security systems before they let people move into the building. So he needs to give the green light. And there's a maintenance crew there led by some guy on the crew. Like typically they would be like your henchman, like your big, remember the big blonde fucker in Die Hard?
Why are they always dressed as maintenance dudes in these movies?
Well, because like they run into people and like you've got the scene where like Neve Campbell's character, she's The Rock's wife in it.
Okay.
And she meets them like in the hallway, just randomly runs into them and like they're not supposed to be there. She thinks like, oh, I thought we were alone in the building. Like,
okay.
And she runs
into
them
and
they're like, oh yeah, just working on the fire systems or whatever. And walk down, and then she turns around and gives the look, like the
yeah,
like something's up with those
so what's
people.
the lesson there? Don't trust Russians.
That's true.
In jumpsuits.
Yeah, and they were wearing jumpsuits.
I'd imagine so.
Yes.
That's exactly what I pictured.
And they might have had like toolboxes and shit, classic. But
yeah,
that's just it. It is the most derivative pile of shit.
It is Die Hard on Fire, right? It's in like Korea or something, right?
Yeah, it feels like Die Hard. It feels because it's got that Asian dude from The Dark Knight in it.
Oh.
And that was like a tower scene too.
Wait, Ken Watanabe or?
No. The guy who like, the guy in The Dark Knight.
I'm good at calculation.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah.
And he sounds just like that.
Okay.
And not a villain, interestingly enough.
Okay.
Which shocked me a little bit.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, it kind of felt a little bit like that. There's a character, I'm going to call her Asian Ruby Rose.
Yeah.
From John Wick. With the short hair. Because she, to me, felt like that character. She had like the same haircut. She's a badass.
Was she deaf?
She wasn't deaf. That would be the differentiator.
So she had one less thing going for her.
Yeah, one less interesting trait. Yes. Yeah. No, that would have been too interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically that's the other thing. So the bad guys are after, like, do you remember the knock list from the first Mission Impossible? It was like a list of names.
Yeah.
And if it got out, like,
yes.
all these bad guys would be caught or whatever. I think in the knock list it might have been like agents' names, where if the bad guy, like something.
Right.
But anyways,
Right.
it's a list of names.
Okay.
But you don't find out that that's what the bad guys are after until like there's like 10 minutes left in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Like they're carrying around this thing, like this is the file, and they don't tell you.
Yeah.
So the only thing you're attached to is The Rock and his family. So his family's stuck in the tower. He's got to get into the tower to save his family.
Sounds like Die Hard.
But you would love to know what the villain, like in that, it was easy.
Yeah.
Like there's money involved.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That
Like,
was one of the first scenes they established what they were trying to do.
right. And there was like a twist. I don't remember exactly what the twist in Die Hard was.
I can't remember anymore.
But you were, like you had an interesting, first of all, this kind of a movie needs your Hans Gruber, your Alan Rickman character.
Yep.
Like you need the villain in this.
Yeah.
Like somebody who is up to the task against the hero.
Yep.
And in this case, you have to really amp it up because it's the fucking Rock.
I was
And
gonna
he's
say-
perfect in every way, by the way.
I was going to say, well, he's got a fake leg.
Okay, so that's, whatever.
But I mean, it's
But
like...
he uses it like the doors are closing and he like
Oh,
rips
he
his leg
uses
off
it
and
as like a
uses it
thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Fucking figures.
So it ends up being like a benefit to him,
It's
really.
like, yes, I can take my leg off and
He multiple times, if he didn't have a fake leg, he would have failed. Like you would have been at a disadvantage for having a real leg.
I just don't get why The Rock even took this took this role, because it's like the reason Die Hard works is John McClane is a Joe Schmo guy. He's not in super great shape. The only reason he has a gun is because he's a cop.
It's true. He kicks ass.
And he kicks ass, but you believe he's in danger all the time. You look at The Rock, you never believe that dude's in danger.
No, it was horrible. I mean, it was really bad.
So, yeah.
Do not recommend that one. Ugh.
So, I've been thinking about what makes a movie terrible. And there are, there's movies like The Room, where it's so bad, it's actually good.
Entertaining,
in a weird,
correct.
Yeah. This is actually, and then on the other spectrum is like an amazing movie where it's good because it's good.
Yes.
And then in the middle is this.
Like the inoffensive, boring,
bland, not entertaining, not engaging. So does that mean that this is actually worse
Yes.
than like The Room because it has no entertainment value?
You can recommend Rampage like in a way where you can be like, hey, it's so utterly fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Or The Room. You
Yeah.
know, like the Rampage is probably worse than this, in my opinion.
Okay.
But it's it's way more entertaining to watch.
Right,
I mean, you
'cause
can
it's-
laugh at it.
Yeah, because
you know.
it's so bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. Whereas this is just like, okay, I've seen all this before. He's going to do this, and then she's going to do this. You know, like there's the kids, the standard kids.
So would you argue that makes a movie worse? Like as a view? Well, I mean, it has to make it worse as a viewing experience.
It's worse as a viewing experience to people who see a lot of movies. Now,
But it's better on a technical level because it's at least like proficient.
yeah, well, if let's say you're a fan of The Rock.
Yeah.
Okay, like Rampage or
Skyscraper. Can't even remember.
Skyscraper. Yeah. So maybe you'd like both of them. I don't know. But I would think you'd be like, oh, yeah, Skyscraper. That's legit.
Yeah.
Like, he's a badass. He does things.
Right.
You know, like you haven't seen every fucking movie that this movie is ripping off.
Right.
I mean,
So
you know,
what you're
there's a Ghost Protocol scene in it. Remember, like Tom
Oh,
Cruise
yeah.
on the outside of the
Yep.
building. So instead of like the things, the little suction cup things, he just like there's
Uses
a
his
joke.
leg.
There's a joke earlier in the movie. If duct tape doesn't do the job, then you're not using enough duct tape. So he goes
God.
and wraps duct tape around his hands, and then he there's a little mini ledge that he uses his feet on, but he uses duct tape to like stick to the side of the building.
That's awful.
And because you knew that this was going to happen, because
Right.
you had your, you know what they say,
Yeah.
duct tape. Like it's just
Duct tape.
fucking terrible.
It's what's for dinner.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, that's really bad.
Yeah, shitty movie, shitty ending, shitty beginning. Everything's shit.
So you're saying that if somebody has this in their top 10 at the end of the year, maybe just don't ever listen to them about movies.
I don't know. I don't know. Somebody might have said that in 2012 about John Carter. So
you're banking on somebody maybe.
I'm just saying, you got asked. You
Okay,
know, I mean, you never know. Maybe. What if 9 out of the 10 are like Hereditary, Leave No Trace, like all like these really interesting like deep movies.
And then this one is just there, and they're just like, I loved it. It was great. It was perfect. Yeah. Nothing wrong with
so
it.
I'd say listen to that guy. If the other 9 are like the Paddington 2s and all the good shit, and that one stinker gets in there as like his or her guilty pleasure, I say fair enough. You're not with me on this.
I'm not with you on that. I think you got to have good taste across the board.
Oh, Jesus.
You got to sweep the board as far as I'm concerned.
All right.
But
yeah, that's enough of that crap.
What was there was a documentary that you saw.
I did. I saw a movie called 3 Identical Strangers.
Okay.
Pretty interesting. So basically the premise is it's a documentary about these twins. It starts as twins where a guy like shows up to college. He shows up to the campus to go to his freshman year of college.
Okay.
And everybody's like, "Hey, what's up?" Like waving to him and like they know him. He's like, "What the fuck?" And then somebody's like, "Hey, Eddie." And he's like, "I'm not Eddie." Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wow.
And finally somebody who's like good friends with Eddie comes up to him and is like, "We got to call this Eddie." And he's like, "Eddie." They call him and it's like a twin that he didn't know he had.
Holy shit.
So he goes and meets the twin and it turns into this news story. And then somebody picks up a newspaper and shows it to their friend and is like, look at this. And the guy goes, "Oh my God." And it's 2 of him. So there's triplets who were all adopted.
Okay.
And they find each other all living within like 100-mile radius in New York.
Wow.
So basically it's about that and how like they meet and like they all smoke the same kind of cigarettes. They're all very similar in their mannerisms and everything, even though one of them was placed with a lower class family, one with a middle class family, and one with a rich family.
Holy shit, that's weird.
Well, that's just it. Not going to give anything away.
Okay.
But there are twists and turns in this story that are quite disturbing.
What a twist.
Yes. And
disturbing.
Yeah, disturbing.
Like disturbing as in like Saw disturbing, or disturbing as in like I can't believe a system would do something like this.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes. So maybe people can figure it out from that. So thank you, Alex.
Yeah. Well, but you said there was a twist.
But no, I would highly recommend it. And the trailers, they play up the fact that like all's not how it seems and whatever. But I'm going to save it. If you want to know after we record,
okay, I'll
let you know. If anybody wants to know, you can send me a message on Instagram or whatever, and I'll let you know if you don't watch documentaries and you're just curious or whatever. But yeah, I'm not going to say it on the podcast because I think it would ruin the movie.
Fair enough.
But yes, it's good.
It's a highly recommend.
Yeah, it's pretty high recommendation.
Cool.
I still say if you're out there, we don't have to go into it, but if you've never seen The Imposter, that is the craziest fucking documentary I've ever seen.
Okay.
That's what I was hoping this was another imposter, but it wasn't.
It's part of what a documentary is, you kind of find it along the way,
That's true.
So,
but yeah, and then I also this weekend wanted to mention, I watched 2 Halloween movies. Wow. Since it was Friday the 13th.
Oh, right.
I know it's not Jason, but I wasn't in the mood for Jason. First, I watched Halloween H2O.
Okay.
Which is it was the 20-year anniversary of the original Halloween.
I see what they did there. The 2 and the O.
Yeah, 2-0.
Wow.
20, H20, Halloween 20. Yep.
Whoa, no way.
So it was funny to me. The first thing I laughed at was Michelle Williams plays one of like the girls in it.
Okay.
Which I'm like, that's one of those where it's like at the time, nobody knew who she was.
Right.
But now it's like everybody,
Yep.
Josh Hartnett is the boyfriend of her, and he also plays Jamie Lee Curtis's son. So in this one, she has faked her death.
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yes, and she has moved to like she's the headmaster at like a private school, like a boarding school.
Does she have like
California?
Does she like have a ruler that she hits the students?
No, she's not evil.
Okay,
but no, she's on. She's hiding or whatever, and guess what? Michael finds her.
Wow.
And it's a really bizarre movie because it's not bad, but they try and hit you with jump scares like every 15 minutes. Like, you know, like somebody will be in the kitchen and shit, and then someone will like pop out with like a bowl of cereal or a box of cereal. And like, or somebody will pop out and like, whoa, you know.
That sounds
like
really
those fake,
stupid.
Right. And that's annoying.
That sounds annoying.
That's annoying. Yeah. And it's annoying because I'm sitting there watching it like, okay, like enough of this. Because the movie's actually like the themes of the movie and are interesting. And, but yeah, what's great is, so it's like it's only like an 84-minute movie or some shit like that. It's less than an hour and a half. So I burned through it quick.
It's like Pocahontas.
But yeah, at the end of the movie, she cuts off Michael Myers' head.
Okay. Much like
and I
Freddy
hadn't seen
did
this
with
in a while.
Much like Freddy did with Jason and Freddy
Jason did with Freddy.
Oh, correct.
Yes. But anyways, what's hilarious is, and I had seen this in the past, and I thought I had seen all the Halloweens, but then I popped in the one after that.
Okay.
So H2O, I would actually give like a B minus, something like that. I think it's pretty good.
All right.
I popped in Halloween Resurrection, featuring Katie Sackhoff, who was in Battlestar Galactica.
Yep.
I didn't realize she was in this. It's got the Rookie of the Year kid from American Pie and shit is in it.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's got Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks. You know, we've talked about that urban market.
Yeah, once you get Busta Rhymes, you know you've got a winner.
Right. So this movie starts off, it's revealed that, like, okay, so H2O ended, like, they had Michael Myers in a body bag in the back of an ambulance, and she, like, knows, like, he's never really dead.
Right.
So she steals the ambulance and drives off. It crashes, and then he's, like, pinned up against a tree.
Okay.
Like, reaching to her because it's his sister or whatever. And she's like, fuck you, and chops his head off.
Okay.
So this one starts with Jamie Lee Curtis is in a mental institution.
Okay.
Because she chopped off some random guy's head because Michael Myers swapped, like, put a security guy in his mask at the end of the last movie. And I've seen this on TV, like parts of it, but I discovered quickly, I don't think I had ever watched this in its entirety because I did not remember that. I just found it hysterical. So they completely undo the last movie.
Yeah, I was going to say, you take away all the stakes of your previous film.
Correct.
Great decision.
And if that would have been like the end of the Halloween franchise as it stood, H2O, I think it actually would have been like a pretty good, you know, I mean, the best you could hope for, right? With these cheesy horror movies.
Right.
But yeah, no, this one's atrocious. The plot of this one is like, the Osbournes must have been big at the time, like the show on MTV. So the plot of this one is reality TV. So basically they're going to put all these kids in the Michael Myers house overnight with like cameras and shit.
Okay.
And Busta's like the producer and Tyra's a producer. Obviously the real Michael shows up.
Right.
And kills them.
Because he's just always hanging out around his house.
Correct. And, you know, you have that scene where, like, you know, the guy comes out, Michael comes out in a mask. Well, first you have Busta come out in a mask, like, because he's trying to create some entertainment.
Yeah.
And then when the real Michael comes,
they're all
guess
like,
what?
They're all like, oh, hey, Busta.
Yep.
You fucking silly fuck. Putting the net didn't work last time.
Yeah, you can see the scene, right?
Right.
It's the most cliche.
And then he kills one of them.
Oh, it was fucking terrible.
It sounds awesome,
One of the worst things I've watched in a while. I can't believe it. And it's funny because I turned on the special features afterwards. There was like an interview with Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's like her and the director are talking about this movie, and it's like one of those classic things where like they're trying to prop up a pile of shit, and like the guy's like, yeah, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's just such a powerful actress. Like, and you know, this character, Laurie Strode, last movie, you know, she was dealing with this, but in this one, it's even more like intense, and, you know, like deep and whatever.
More
it's
intense and insane.
It's a 5-minute scene at the beginning of the movie where she fucking dies.
Oh.
She dies. This was her death. This is where this classic character, after you just made like an homage movie to her a few years back, you decide to kill her off in a Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks led garbage sequel. And she does the interview and she's like, oh yeah, it's just, I'm trying to send this character off with the grace. And I really love what they've done here with the story. Now they can start a new, chapter in the Michael Myers saga. I think it's time to close the books. And it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Did you read the script?
It's awful.
It's terrible.
Isn't it weird to watch these people like do this mental gymnastics to like you said, prop up a shit film? It's actually quite sickening because you're like, okay, I hope you're acting now. Right. I hope that you can tell the difference between a good story and a bad story.
Right.
But
no, they are acting. They have to be. Even the director has to know it sucks.
Right.
I mean, the movie is a fucking joke. Like, if you were a hardcore Halloween fan, which they're out there.
Right.
I mean, people obsessed with all these franchises.
Right.
They must have just been disgusted. I mean, ugh.
So you're telling me that Star Wars isn't the only fandom that's toxic.
Right. No, but okay. I'm going to amend my earlier. If you put Halloween Resurrection in your top 10 in 2002 or whatever, you should not be listened to. Although it was more entertained than I was watching Skyscraper to that point.
There it is. Yep. That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, that's enough for that.
Okay. So. Let's what was our headliner again?
Leave no trace. Don't get lost in the woods. Yeah.
With your buddy from Hell or High Water,
Ben Foster, 310 to Yuma.
Yep.
Hell or High Water. He was great wizard in Warcraft.
Was he the wizard?
Yes.
Okay. We actually tried to watch that back in the day, and there was some serious issues.
Yeah.
There was all the sound was coming out of one speaker at the front of the theater,
and it didn't include the dialogue.
Yeah, it just was the music. That was one of the we left what 10 minutes into the movie.
Not
like
even.
Yeah, that was awful.
And then I saw the movie the next day, and it was even worse with the dialogue.
I watched most of it at home for free, and I didn't even know that was him as the wizard.
Yeah, that's him.
That's so sad because that movie sucks.
It does suck, but it's interesting that that's a role he would take.
Yeah,
because you don't see him as that in your head,
right?
Like he plays very different. Like he's very different in this than he was in Hell or High Water.
Yes, I enjoyed him much more in this.
I like him in both. My favorite role of his is still 310 to Yuma.
But so quick little synopsis of this movie. So it's Ben Foster, and he has a daughter, would you say about 12, 13 years old?
Maybe his daughter, 14. Tom. Young teens.
Teens. And they live in the woods in, what is like a park. And
it's like a government, it's a park.
Yeah. And they're getting mushrooms, and they're not hallucinogenic mushrooms, like real food mushrooms.
As Jesse Ventura would say, they're off the grid. I'm off the grid. I go to South America and I'm off the grid. You Jesse Ventura people might recognize that, but that's his thing.
For all those WWF fans.
Oh, I mean, no. I mean like post governor.
Of
Minnesota, Jesse Ventura. Like,
okay.
This is legit. He's nuts.
Okay.
But
I lost track of him after he became governor. I was like, whatever.
Best stuff, start the conspiracy theory show and stuff.
Oh, well, I might need to check that out. But anyways, so
they're off the grid.
Don't leave a trace.
Leave no trace.
Leave no trace. Don't leave your backpack. They're just in the woods, and they get discovered. Somebody sees the daughter. The cops are called. They take him in. They take both of them in, and they put them in like a housing unit.
They separate them.
They separate them for a little while, while they're sort of basically trying to figure out what's wrong with the father. Why would he do this? We sort of get the idea that he has some PTSD. He used to be like a SEAL or military of some kind.
Yeah, and I liked how they didn't really delve deep into what exactly happened.
No, because it wasn't the point. The point was that he was like this. It doesn't matter how that came about. And then it's about him trying to acclimate to being in a house again and being around people again, because this is not what he's used to. And it's about, how she deals with it, because she was raised like this.
She was raised like this, but she doesn't have the issues that he has.
Yes.
She's along for the ride with no choice of her own,
Yes. And so general thoughts. What do you think?
I thought it was great.
I thought it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I was it's one of those where you're kind of waiting for something big to happen. And it really does. Like, there's no it's large. There's one event.
There's one event that happens. It's would you say about 3/4 of the way through the movie?
I thought every scene, as I think this is a performance piece first and foremost for the little girl. I'm going to look her up quick. But anyways, this little girl that plays the daughter, it's one of the better young kid roles I've seen in a while.
She's outstanding. She is she's detached but eloquent. You can tell she wants to be sweet. She's got a very multifaceted performance.
And her name, by the way, is Thomasin McKenzie.
Yeah,
her name is Tom in the movie, which why did I name her Tom?
Yeah.
And then when I saw the cast at the end, I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, she was great.
It's a beautiful movie. Lots of vistas.
Yeah.
The old Washington vistas.
Yes.
It takes place up by Portland, Oregon, and then they end up in Washington, Pacific Northwest.
There's a really, the color grading on this, I noticed, was when they were in the woods. It was very vibrant.
Yeah.
You had real greens, real popping. When they would get into the cities and get into, more urban environments, or even not even urban, but when they were at the housing place that they ended up being at, lots of muted colors.
It's still, I don't know, I might not be with you all the way on the vibrance thing. I thought it felt very rainy.
It was.
You know what I'm saying? The
whole
greens,
movie,
the colors are there, but it's not like you're. It's not like a bright jungle green.
Right.
It's a very dark, pine type.
But it was beautiful, and it was intentionally beautiful. And I felt like they really made a point of making that color pop more than when, like I said, they get into the house and it's all these sort of beiges and grays and everything. It was. I feel like they were trying to tell a narrative there with just color alone.
Yeah, well, the making the plainness of just living normal.
Yeah, or even the car ride when they're first getting taken in by the police.
Yes,
and they're listening. You can just tell he's tense. He's tense in the car when he has to hear the radio, and then they show all the highways. The highways that go over your head with the off ramps and stuff.
Yep.
I mean, I was getting stressed.
Yeah.
There
was a few scenes in it that made me very stressed. I don't want to get into it before spoilers, but I thought it was very good. It's not going to be for everyone.
No, it's a slow burn. So if you're not, I mean, I had a little bit of trouble getting into it. Once the cops showed up, I was fully on board.
Yeah, see, I didn't have trouble, but I'm the fan of slow movies, so I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Top 3 for the year so far, maybe.
Oh wow,
it's up there.
I'd put it maybe in my top 10, but I wouldn't put it top 3.
It was great.
I'd say the girl is in top 3 performances.
The girl was amazing, and I went in excited because of Ben Foster, and he was great.
He was great, but
she was the linchpin of this movie.
Yes. Do we want to get into spoilers?
Spoilers. Yeah. Okay, so we're in spoilers now. There's a few scenes in this where she talks to him. You can tell she's hesitant to even talk to him about some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And the tone in her voice, the welling up of the eyes,
the quivering of the lower chin,
nailed it all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and even the avoiding eye contact.
Right, yeah.
And the body language.
Because she loves him, but he's kind of ruining her life.
And
not kind of.
Yeah. Well, and she's not assertive enough.
Right.
Which is weird because she has a very sort of honest relationship. which I felt like was sort of displayed early on when she was like, I'm hungry, and she would like, she just sort of told him stuff.
Early on, there's a scene where he's like, we can't waste the propane.
Yeah.
And she's just like, no, fuck off. I'm making this. Like,
yeah.
I need propane. It's too damp. You're not going to be able to start that kindling.
Yep.
I'm just going to use the propane.
And it was so strange because she's so honest with him, but then you realize that it's not about real issues that when she's honest.
You're right.
And I found that really great because that felt real.
And it slowly builds to the point where she's like, are you even trying? Like, she understands something's going on with him, and he's, and she almost has to be like the adult in the situation as far as the emotional state of the characters are concerned.
Right.
Because there's a great scene where, like, he's like, all right, pack your stuff, let's go. And they leave the house after they have like a house and a guy who's like helping him out.
Yep.
And she basically said, did you even try?
Yeah.
And it's like, he didn't.
Well,
he didn't.
We don't know really. You know what I mean?
Right, I suppose. But he wasn't going and talking to someone honestly.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like, I mean, you can, if a person, I'm always going to spin this mental health stuff to like alcoholism, but if a person's like, yeah, I'll quit drinking, whatever,
right?
Or somebody mandates they quit drinking and they get put somewhere or whatever. If they don't like go out of if they just like go a few days cold turkey without having a drink and then they go drink again, it's like, well, you didn't really try.
Yeah, it's not going to last because you didn't put yourself in a situation to succeed.
You didn't like go ask for help from anyone.
Yeah.
And like, it's funny because he's one of those characters. It's like you feel terrible for him.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously disturbed. He's not a bad person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he is harming his child, clearly.
Yeah.
Well,
and it was really weird because at the beginning of the movie, they kind of make you see that maybe he wasn't. Like they really present it as like this sort of like, this is nice. And
they do. And it was very purposeful that they did that, I thought.
And the thing that, and I sort of got a little bit of a different message from it than you, in that I understand that the PTSD was bad, and I understand that what he was doing to his daughter was terrible, but I also understood, well, not terrible, but it was detrimental.
It was
to
terrible.
Her. Yeah,
it's abuse. It's child abuse. What he was doing,
but
she could have frozen to death.
Yeah, well, that was where, like, once he took her back out, I was like, all right, you.
Well, and I'm sorry, you're sheltered. Like, she doesn't get to live a life, basically, because you're taking her out of complete human interaction. Like, she's not saddled with this disability you have.
Right.
You know what I mean? And at the beginning, you're right. It kind of starts as like almost like it reminded me of like Into the Wild or something.
Right.
Where I know a lot of people, it's funny because I don't feel like Into the Wild was trying to say like this guy's kind of a fucking selfish asshole.
Right.
But when I watched Into the Wild, that was my thought. It's like,
okay,
yeah, his parents are kind of pricks, but like you just fucking left. I don't know. Like his parents, I remember there's a scene where they offer him like a car or something.
Yeah.
And he like, I'm not materialistic. Like,
right.
Fuck you. And I think you're supposed to like think he's great. Maybe I'm wrong.
I kind of liked him, if I'm honest.
See, by the end, I'm like, well, I mean, lesson learned.
Yeah. Well, his arrogance was what was his problem, but I think I liked. Anyways, I don't want to.
No. My point was in bringing that up is like the beginning kind of feels like that, where it's going to be like this ode to the wild,
right?
You know what I mean? And it doesn't end up being that, really.
No. The thing that really got me was this sort of feeling of, I want my own space, and I want my own space away from people where I can do what I want to do. Right. And it's not because it's normal, and it's not because it's what's expected of me, but it's because it's what I want to do. And the fact that they make a point of there is literally nowhere that somebody who wants that can have that, because you can't go on public land. He has to interact with people at the tree place when he wants to deal with, and it's and even when he breaks his leg, it's like there's nowhere that you can get away from society.
Sure there is, but you can't bring your underage daughter with you.
I suppose, but
That's the point.
But even so, the point is like no matter where he goes, like right where he is at the end of the movie,
Sure.
he's allowed to be there based on the people who maybe own that land, but it's not like that's a right of his, you know?
I mean,
and she even brings up like, you know, we wouldn't even need land. We could just get a tree and just do a tree house, you know? It would just be a tree. And it's like, it's this idea of like, I don't know. I feel like it was thematically interesting, not just in the daughter, but also this man who just wants to be left alone and do what he wants to do. And
right? No, and I level with him. He's obviously got a problem.
Yeah,
I agree with like that. That's almost like the "don't tread on me" like libertarian view.
Yeah,
of like, well, he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's, you know, nobody should be able to stop him.
Yeah.
But he's got the girl.
He's got the girl.
That's the problem.
Yep. Well, and it was interesting because they brought up the point of, well, your reading level is way above normal, but
so
school is not just academic.
Yes. Right.
And I thought that was really important that they showed the benefits and the detriments of what he was doing to his daughter.
Correct.
Because like clearly, if something happened, you know, post-apocalyptic, she's set. She can take care of herself.
No, and honestly, he must have done a great job with his daughter because she's a very respectful, perfect person. I have no problems with her at all. So he did a great job, but it's not
what she wanted for her life.
Exactly, yeah. She didn't get to have any choice in the matter, which kids don't have a choice.
With who their parents are.
But if there's, I mean, you're endangering the kid, and I can see how the government would see it that way.
I was very scared when she said "ow" when they got on the train, because there's that big, giant, rusted bit of metal behind her.
Yes.
I'm like, God, is it
going to be like
a tetanus?
Right. Well, and that's what's interesting about the movie too, right? Because I had the same thought where it's like, oh, that's where this is going. It's going to turn into this like sad, she's going to get sick, and then it's going to be, you know, not where it went.
Not where it went.
No, not at all. They just sprayed some Bactine on it, put a Band-Aid on it. It was fine.
But when he broke his leg and was unconscious. Well, actually, even before that, I was really scared for her when she started getting really cold.
That was interesting. That
was
whole scene. I mean,
scary.
How sick is that guy to put his daughter through that? And that's where you're teetering on, like, am I mad at this guy or do I feel bad for him or is it both? And that's how I feel like with a lot of mental illness problems, that's what it becomes, right?
Yes.
Where like, you know, it's can you blame him? You don't know.
Because you don't know what he went through. And I think that was why it was important that they didn't show you what happened.
What exactly? That's like the best thing about the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you leave and it's like, okay, well, something bad happened to this guy or he saw something.
Yep. I thought it was really smart that they left you with wanting more, I feel like, with the movie. And in a good way, not in the movie is incomplete.
Correct. Totally.
But like, I was like, God, I do want to know what happened. I can't, I maybe that's a personal thing, but I'm just sitting there. I'm like, God, it really would help for context to know how you're, you know, how
it's
how
sad
you're dealing
because
with
it's
this.
like, he got what he wanted. So the movie ends basically with he wants to leave. They find another group to live with.
Yep.
And she gets comfortable there. Everybody's really nice.
Yep.
You know, she's like, I want to stay.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, we're leaving. And she just goes, look, I don't have the same issue you do.
Yep.
And I'm staying.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Yep.
And he leaves. And I mean, I assume you want to say like a happily ever after thing where it's like, he goes off, he has to do it. But that's another crazy thing, like leaving your daughter. It's just fucking bizarre. But is he even getting the help that he actually needs?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
It's an avoidance thing. And that's what the whole, like, you know, you had this dog, you have your daughter, you have a military dude who you could actually talk to who clearly has a similar issue.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about the movie too, is like, can you think of one of those like easily typed like archetypical characters in a story like this that's like a piece of shit? Like it seems like everyone they came across on their journey
was a nice person.
Was a good person.
Trying to do right by them.
Yes, there isn't a single character. God, it's like I feel like there has to be one because there's always one.
I mean, there was that woman who was part of the police force, or maybe it was child services or whatever. She wasn't bad, and she was trying to do right by the kid.
Correct.
But she also came off a little abrasive.
Yeah, I had no problems with her. I thought she was great. Nice lady.
She seemed nice. The way that she was very...
She was the one who like brought him the paperwork, like you need to fill this out.
She was
blah, blah,
very
blah, blah, blah.
impatient with him, though. Like, especially near the end where she was like, do you understand?
Well, she's got a job to do,
Yep.
and she can't just leave. You know what I'm saying?
I get it, but at that point, I'm like, but this guy is broken.
You know what they should have done? They should have brought the woman from what's the Taiki movie with the kid? And
the
cop.
No Child Left Behind. Yeah. This child's a real bad egg.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What the hell was the name of that movie, though? It's going to drive me nuts.
Hunt for the Wilder People.
Yes. But
oh, my God. Holy shit.
Totally random.
Okay, so Mr. Fantastic, right? Wasn't that one?
Mr. Fantastic was a good one.
Yeah. Then you've got this. Then you've got Hunt for the Wilder People. And then you've got the one with Brie Larson and
Room.
Woody Harrelson.
Oh, no.
I can't remember what...
I haven't seen that.
I haven't either.
But are they all kind of the same?
They're all the same thing of like a man who doesn't trust the system taking their children out into the wilderness.
Yes, correct. And they're all... I haven't seen the Woody Harrelson one, but I can attest to the other three all being really good.
Yeah. So I just find it a little interesting.
Captain Fantastic.
That's what it was. Yeah. I haven't seen that or the Woody Harrelson one, even though I heard they're both great. So I'm going to check them out.
Captain Fantastic, I can say, was fantastic.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Vigo is great.
Well, and it's another character where it's like Vigo, you kind of get what he's saying, and you're like, okay, well, it's his life.
Right.
But then part of you's like, but dude, you're your family here. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little fucking weird what you're doing to your family.
Yep. There were so many good little bits in there about sort of getting to the heart of the message of the story. Like when she meets the beekeeper woman.
That was great.
Because it was a matter of, like, this is a pretty heavy metaphor for, like, you know, you put yourself, like PTSD, part of it is trust and not trusting people. Because you've been, you know, I'm going to bring up Jordan Peterson, so if you guys don't like him, you know, whatever,
Google him, listen to him, you'll probably like him.
I think he's a smart guy. I don't agree with everything he says, but you know, I think he's a very smart guy, and he says that what PTSD tends to be is people who have been touched by malevolence, and so you don't trust humanity because your worldview has been shattered. And I think that that's pretty good, and I think that's what he has. And the bees like represent, like, she's like, put your hand over the bees. You can feel the warmth of the hive. And I was like, wow.
So
on point.
One of these characters that they run into is a beekeeper, and basically like shows the girl like, hey, look just be careful, like earn their trust, whatever, blah, 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 blah. You need to trust that you're not going to get stung, whatever.
Yep.
So she brings the dad there to show him.
Yeah.
And clearly
he seemed to actually quite like it, I thought.
Well, that's what's bizarre
But then he has to leave.
Yes.
And it's because I felt like it was not trusting people and the familiarity of like a space is becoming familiar because of the people within it.
Right.
And because, clearly his issue was people.
Yes.
It wasn't like, well, I mean, because he was like, you know, we can still think our own thoughts here. You know, when that
was the first play. Yeah, right.
At the first play. And that's why I was always like, you know, I don't know how much of it is PTSD and how much of it is just like, I don't like society. Like he takes the TV out of his...
And puts it in the closet.
Puts it in the closet. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, you know what? Some people be like, that's unhealthy. I'm like, maybe that's a healthy thing to do because there's a lot of shit on TV.
He wants to be off the grid
as
Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Off the grid.
But yeah, when they get up to, what is it, Washington, I believe?
Yes.
And she's like, it's really cold and talking about how high up they are. You're just like, man, fuck you.
I know, you get mad at him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've known people in my life who have suffered from a mental illness of sorts, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It makes you think. this movie.
It does.
It challenges you
It
quite a bit.
It also was one of those movies where you walk out of it and you can tell that you were affected, because it took me a while to sort of get acclimated back to
Compress,
reality.
yeah, decompress.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Like, because I just sort of sat with the credits for a while.
I did too. Plus, they had that beautiful scenery to look at. In the
They
credits.
did. Yeah. And I'm just, oh man, the scenery really was great.
Yeah.
Oh, it was really interesting too. The fact that he lived among the trees and then he had to go and chop down trees.
Oh, yep. Right.
I thought there were, and I don't remember all of them because
But he doesn't seem to have like a. It's not like a.
It's not like an environmentalist thing.
No, it's not. It's just that's where he can get away from people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and not that he dislikes the environment. I mean, it is like clearly like environmentalist people are going to get something out of this movie.
Right.
But he wasn't like, oh, I'm disgusted by the fact that I have to chop down trees.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, it wasn't that at all.
No.
But it was really interesting. Oh, and then there's that guy who's teaching him about like the trees and stuff.
Yes.
And that even had to deal with like conformity and what people want, because he's like, well, there needs to be a clear top to the tree because we can't send this out to California.
Yep.
And I was like, man, there's just some good like thematic writing going on in this movie.
Right.
So it's one of those movies where I walked out and was like, yeah, it's pretty good. I didn't love it,
I thought it was great.
but I really
Now, I say it's like top 3 for the year. That doesn't mean that it's the one that I'm going to watch the most.
Right.
But I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
I mean, I have trouble finding things that are wrong with it.
I don't think there's anything. I would say from a script perspective and just pure narrative, I don't think there is anything wrong
Yes,
with it.
that's why I would say like,
Maybe there's a technical issue that I didn't notice, but
yeah.
like story wise, I think it's actually you could say it's an airtight, like perfect movie.
Yeah, all the characters are treated with respect. I mean, only 2 of them are really main characters that you get to know beyond the surface level. But like I said, I love the fact that they don't run into that piece of shit.
Yes.
And there's a great scene in there where they end up hitchhiking to Washington, and the trucker, like, this is your standard character that would end up being a fucker, right?
Yep.
But no, like they come up to him like, hey, we want to go north. We want to go to Washington, whatever.
Yeah.
And he is like, I'm going to have to talk to the girl for a minute.
Yeah.
Before, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you
like,
in trouble here?
Yep.
And it's like, well,
he wasn't a piece of shit.
No,
he was even trying to talk to the dad. And you notice that once like he's talking to the dad more, that's when they had to leave.
Yes.
And it's like the father, I don't even remember if we learn his name? I don't know if we learned his name.
That's a great question.
But
I know the daughter is Tom.
Yeah. Yep. That was very clear.
Yes.
But he became more paranoid as the movie went along.
His name is Will.
Was
and
it
we
Will?
do. Yeah,
okay.
we do learn his name.
Okay. But yeah, there was some really good stuff. I would say that even though I didn't love it, I think your level of enjoyment will just be based on preference. But I think anybody could really enjoy this movie because it's just that well crafted.
You're not going to say it's bad.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
If somebody has this in their bottom 10 of the year, do not listen to their opinion on movies.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, I just looked. It's still got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, that was
nobody's spoiled it yet.
Yeah. Well, just wait until that fucker.
The Get Out hater.
Yep.
Yeah.
The fucker, as Liam Neeson would call him.
Fucker.
Hey, you're the fucker.
You're the fucker.
That's a quote from The Commuter
that we made up.
Yeah.
Or I said that's what he said. But
yep.
Yeah, it would have been great.
It would have been great.
Hey, you're the
fucker.
Patrick Wilson, you're the fucker. All right. But yeah, no, recommendation from me.
Yep. I would say go see it. Go see it over Skyscraper.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's another episode for us. I don't think we have anything else.
No, I'm set. I'm content with what we talked about today.
Yeah, as am I. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. That's been another episode of Bored and Annoyed. You can check us out at boredandannoyed.com.
At Bored Annoyed on Twitter.
I am at Home at Movies on Twitter. And we hope that you have a lovely evening and or morning and or day, wherever you're listening to it.
You can listen to this at whatever time you please.
Yep. See you in the morning. See you in the evening. See you at supper time.
And yeah, if you're listening to this early in the week, tune in to our Lawrence of Arabia review.
Yeah, that'll be coming Friday, actually.
Perfect.
So have a great one, guys.